Reciprocal of exchange rates. So reciprocal of yen per dollar is dollar per yen, and then for dollar per yen it will be 1 upon ask will be bid, and 1 upon bid will be new ask. Then we come to concepts called as direct and indirect quotes. Direct and indirect quotes. Just to make you familiar with these simple things, but then quite useful for exams as well. Even in theory, sometimes these are been asked in the exams. Direct quote. If I say you that you want to purchase an apple, okay? Now it can be the quote, the rate for the apple purchasing can be said in two ways. I can always say 25 rupee per apple. This is one way of saying, or we can say 4 apples in 100 rupee. What is the difference between two rates? 1 apple costs you 25 rupee, or 4 apples in 100 rupee. Are they different or are they the same? The answer is they are the same. But then this is one way of writing, we call it a direct quote. We call it a direct quote, and this is called as indirect quote. This is equally true for Forex as well. So you can directly say if it is say 50 rupee per dollar, then it is a direct quote. And if I say it is a $2 per 100 rupee, then it's called indirect quote. Things are the same. Whether you call it apple, whether you call it dollar, the things will be the same. Okay? So, how will we define direct quote? Direct quote is when one unit of foreign currency, say I call dollar as foreign currency and rupee as home currency. So when I say direct quote is what? When one foreign currency expressed in home currency. And indirect quote is when one home currency expressed in foreign currency. So basically, any rate can be expressed as direct or indirect. As I said, it's all the same thing. Whether a vendor says 1 apple costs you 25 rupee, and some other vendor says in 100 rupee you get 4 apples. You probably may get confused, but then ultimately they are the same rates. This appears to be direct one. If you want to purchase 1 apple, you simply say this 25 rupee is the cost. And indirect is that out of 100 rupee or 1 rupee, how many apples can you purchase? Apples may not be in fractions, but then here the currency can be in fractions. So direct quote is what? When one foreign currency expressed in home currency is called direct quote, and indirect is when one home currency is expressed in certain units of foreign currency. Now you may be interested to know that if one foreign currency expressed in another foreign currency, then what? So you can directly say if one foreign currency expressed in another foreign currency, then we call it a cross currency quotes. Cross currency quotes. So I can directly say that for an Indian person or for Indian $1.5 per pound is a cross currency, because neither dollar is home currency and nor pound is home currency. So 1 pound expressed in terms of dollar, that is called the cross currency codes. It's a cross currency codes when one foreign currency expressed in certain units of another foreign currency only. And that is called as cross currency codes. For solving the questions, these are of no significance, but normally in theory questions, at times they ask whether it is direct quote or indirect quote, or at times they ask you about the theory. What is direct quote or indirect quote? In India, earlier currency used to be quotes in normal as indirect quote, but now they are expressed as direct quote. Now if you go to any banker, they will simply say, yes, 52 rupees $1 or 60 rupees $1. But earlier they used to say how much dollar we can have in 100 rupee. That was around 20 years back, when normally RBI also used to quote the rate as indirect. But now, in the entire India, we are using only direct quotes. Going further, then how to find out cross currency rates? Cross currency rates. Let us do it. Let us understand it by way of example. I am sure some of you can always answer 2 by 5 into 5 by 7 is equal to what? So maybe I am asking a question of standard 3 or 4, but then can you answer this question? I want to hear your answer. All your answers are correct. It is 2 by 7. I am sure you all have answered it correctly, and you may say, sir, we are professional students, what are you teaching? But then probably the concept remains the same. And if you understand in such simple language, probably there is no need to cram anything, and even the same stands true and holds true for the professional course as well. So if 2 by 5 by 7 is 2 by 7, how do you get it? 5 cancels out, and then 2 remains in numerator, 7 remains in denominator. The same question if I ask you rupee per dollar into dollar per pound, this should be an obvious question. And for professional exams, this question you will see in the exams asked for 7 to 8 marks. So probably then you realize that yes, it was very simple, and there is no need of getting panic in these chapters at all. It is rupee per pound. So if the rates are given for rupee per dollar, the rates are given for dollar per pound, then we will find out rupee per pound. Answer simple. Now, again, let me ask you a different question. This is called cross currency rates. If I say you 2 by 5 divided by 7 by 9. Let me change the question. 2 by 5 divided by 7 by 5. You may probably think that what the sir is doing, why is teaching these school level concepts? There is nothing great in it. But then, with these concepts only, they will be taking to you to understand you the basics of Forex. Is one the same thing? So what we do, we can always say rupee per dollar divided by pound per dollar, it gives you the same thing as rupee per pound. Same way, we are going to go ahead for all the calculations which you may be surprised asked for 7 to 8 marks in the examinations, and many frequently times, maybe 4 or 5 times such questions have been asked. So we go with these fundamental concepts and then wish to take it ahead. Taking it ahead, what we can say? So we can always say given is 50 and 52 rupee per dollar. Also given is say 1.4 and 1.5 dollar per pound. This is an exam question only. And to compute or to find out, to compute rupee per pound. First, what we'll do? We'll write like a rule called chain rule. There's no great meaning, but then chain rule. Chain rule says rupee per pound is equal to rupee per dollar into dollar per pound. Eventually, you can see that dollar in the numerator gets cancelled out with the dollar in the denominator. Rupee remains in the numerator and pound remains in the denominator. But then, for any code, we have to have two rates. One is the bid, another is ask. So if I say rupee per pound bid rate, then we need to say rupee per dollar bid rate into dollar per pound bid rate. That's all. So if you are trying to find out the bid rate for rupee per pound, then it will be the bid rate multiplied with the bid rate. So this is one rate, bid we have found out. If I say rupee per pound ask rate, I am sure you all know the answer. Rupee per dollar ask into dollar per pound ask rate. Rupee per dollar into dollar per pound ask rate. Is okay? Now if this be the case, then finding out rupee per pound now becomes a child's play. That's all. Very great. We can say rupee per pound bid is equal to rupee per dollar and dollar per pound. First we have to find out the bid one. Rupee per dollar bid is 50. Dollar per pound bid is 1.4. So answer is 70 rupee. Similarly for the ask one, rupee per dollar is 52 and dollar per pound is 1.5. I need to use a calculator for it. Or else, whatever the answer comes, if somebody can help you out. What is the answer for 20.5? And then we can say direct quote is, how much is it?
78.
78. You got the correct answer? 78. So we directly say my answer for rupee per pound is 70 and 78. 70 is the bid rate for rupee per pound and 78 is the ask rate for rupee per pound. Doesn't it appear simple for a question of 5-6 marks? A very simple one. Let's do another question. Now if I give you the answer as, say, another question, another example, or another illustration. It is 0.8 and 0.9 pound per dollar. Now you need to compute rupee per pound. All of you can do it now and compute it. What will be the rupee per pound in this case? First you must write the chain rule. We need to find out rupee per pound. And rupee per pound will be equal to rupee per dollar into dollar per pound. A simple standard 3-4 calculations. Rupee per dollar given to you, but dollar per pound not given to you. So what we need to do is to first find out that using this pound per dollar, we need a reciprocal. And for reciprocal, what we do? 1 upon ask is your new bid, and 1 upon bid is your new ask, dollar per pound. So directly we can say 1 upon 0.9 it is 1.11 slash 1.25 dollar per pound. And now you can make your graph all easily. You can directly say the bid for rupee per pound will be rupee per dollar bid, that is 50, into 1.11, and ask rupee per pound will be 52 into 1.25. So now we have the two codes required for expressing exchange rate, which will be this rupee per pound. That's our answer. That's answer. So that's very simple. Cross currency rates is done. Be very clear. Apply simple arithmetic of primary school level standard. But then be careful. Don't commit mistakes. These questions have been frequently asked in the examination. So rupee per dollar, dollar per pound. First, set up a chain rule where you can observe for yourself that dollar in the numerator and dollar in the denominator eventually cancels each other. What remains in the numerator is rupee and pound. So that means this formula is correct. Then you need to see that rupee per dollar rates, are they available? Yes, it's available. Dollar per pound available? Not available. So first make a cross currency of it, dollar per pound. And then applying a chain rule, left into left is the other left, bid into bid is another bid. And you'll be surprised to see that these simple questions have been so frequently asked in the examination. It's like maybe it's a question for 1 or 2 marks at standard 4, but in our exams it is asked for 6 to 8 marks at the professional final level. So it's just a cash marks. You can't afford to lose it. It's absolutely simple. Forex chapter is probably one of the most logical and simplest chapter in the entire finance subject. We'll start with the next topic just now.